the man that ensures that the apron, that's where the aircraft are parked, taxied around, maintained, serviced. You ensure that there are things we call foreign object debris. We call them the unwanted things around the airplane. They portend danger to the aircraft. You are the man that ensures that no such thing is allowed, to remain within that vicinity of where the aircraft is going to operate. How do I mean? What I'm trying to say in essence is this. If you cite a piece of paper, a trash can, what do? You pick it. You don't leave it for somebody else to come and do. Now, what we do basically is we watch out for the flight crew. Because if the aircraft picks anything or adventure propels anything upon taxiing, when I say taxiing, meaning that upon the aircraft movement and injures somebody or kills somebody or damages the property, the responsibility rests on your shoulders. You have that to answer for. So, the industry is one industry that is highly scrutinized. You can't do things your own way. And that's why ICAO, the umbrella body, came up with 19 annexes. When I say annexes, individual documents covering each area of aviation. For instance, now, there is a particular annex that applies to both the captain and myself. Or let me say two of such. The Annex 14, which talks about the aerodrome. The pilot should know the design and configuration of where he's going to operate the aircraft. In the same vein, Annex 2, that talks about the rules of the air. Some of us may not understand that now, but as we grow, our interest in aviation will get to understand. Annex 2 talks about rules of the air. How the marshaller and the captain communicates with the use of this. You can see it is littered. Now, this is called a marshalling torch. And it is used during dusk operation. When I say dusk, either during the night and during extreme weather condition. Like for instance, in regions where during the rainy season, you have a very dark cloud that you could barely even see somebody standing in front of you. And my brother here brings in the airplane and he needed somebody on the ground, maybe in the person of an aircraft marshaller or an helicopter landing officer, as the case may be, to signal, to give guidance with the use of this and tool. It is called the marshalling torch. Now, also, it's also used for non-verbal communication. Students in the house, we have verbal communication and non-verbal communication. Now, non-verbal communication involves the use of gesture. Am I wrong or right? Good. Also, the use of body language. Am I right? So now, what we do, and it is enshrined, we don't do it our way, it is global. The way I call an aircraft in Nigeria should be the same way they call it in Heathrow in London. Do you get it now? So this is used during night operation. We have this which we call the marshalling ones. We also have the one that looks like the table tennis bats. These ones are used during daylight operation, meaning that between the hours of 7 and 6 p.m., we don't use that in aviation anyway. There is a way we call it. So, this is what you use. So, you don't go to the apron at night with this. If you go to the apron at night with this, one, the pilot won't take you serious. Two, if he takes you serious, that means he's not a serious person too. Because you are an accident waiting to happen. So, we also have other means of communicating with the air traffic controllers. With the use of this radio, we send and receive messages. Then we also have personal protective equipment. How many of us are familiar with this? It is not the DJ, it's not the jockey man's headphone. So it is used to protect your ears, your eardrums from extreme exposure to loud sound. You wouldn't want to complete a career in aviation and go home, deaf. It will not be nice. So, without taking much of our time, I would want to hand the mic over.
Thank you very much. So we're not doing badly at all. There's so much to learn, and like somebody did say, it takes like 400 people to ensure that a plane moves from one point A to point B. There are so many. We haven't even, done so much today because there are loads of things that you can do. It doesn't matter what course you read, you can find your space in this industry. And already I want to believe that you're beginning to think of what you want to do, because it looks like next year is 2023. It's less than 6 weeks away. We'll already be in 2023. And so, what do you plan on doing? Do you need training? Whatever it is, begin to think about it and begin to make your decisions so that you can help us fill up those posts. If one particular thing, there are people who I know that have wanted to be pilots, so first were cabin crew, and then eventually became pilots. There are people who were dispatchers who become pilots. So it doesn't matter where you start off, find somewhere to start off, and you can eventually attain your dream. Thank you. Let's put our hands together once again for all our speakers. I want to call on the representative of Harris Air.
My name is Oyewola Tunde Peter. Actually, my background is flight dispatch. I'm a licensed flight dispatcher, Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority. And basically, I started my career in the industry in 2008 as a protocol officer. I was doing a lot of ramp movement, and some of my colleagues here know me on the ramp scene. And from there, I moved into flight operations, and then from there into flight data monitoring and quality analysis. Also being a flight dispatcher, so everything from quality management system, flight data monitoring. If a pilot is going to be doing a hard landing or any other thing, or he does a hard landing, it comes to my office first, apart from being a flight dispatcher. Basically, training has also been a forte of mine, and I've always been interested in training. And having worked with 2 training institutes or approved training organizations, I'm actually in the 3rd one now. I'm representing Harris Air Training School and as the quality manager of Harris Air Training School. And we cannot overemphasize the need of training, especially in aviation. It takes more than 400 people even to get that aircraft in the air. And the finality of the aircraft being in the air comes down to so many people. Apart from even being the pilot flying, there's also a tripod for the last set of 3 people, which is the dispatcher, the pilots, and the engineer. Because even when the engineer certify the aircraft out from their mail, the dispatcher will look at it and also say, okay, fine, let me give you a weather briefing, let me brief my pilot and co-sign before that aircraft can take off. So a lot of training comes into it, and as in the earlier panels, there's a lot of cerebral activity going on in the industry. So your training has to be tight. You need to understand what you're training and what you are training on in whatever aspect of the industry you are dealing with. Now, representing Harris here and being the 3rd approved training organization I'm working with, we were able to look at the structure of training and come out with something different. First of all, how many of you stay on the island here? How many of you stay on the island? How many of you have friends on the island? Okay, so all our Lekki people, you don't need to come down to this side to do your training. So RCA is located at the Lekki area, the Lekki Ajah area, and being there gives us the opportunity to structure aviation training to suit people from that environment. And even if you're on this other side, you're free to come down to the Lekki side. The school is located at 8 Ahmed Kasimu Street, Chevy View Estate, and our trainings, Harris here is an approved training organization and an approved training center. Now, what that means is that Harris here is approved by the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority to carry out training in cabin crew for initial, recurrent, conversions training, and also for flight dispatch training in advanced flight dispatch training and basic flight dispatch training. It's an approved training center, meaning that we are an approved training center with International Air Transport Authority, IATA, to carry out ticketing trainings and then GDS training, Global Distribution System training with Amadeus. So the beautiful thing about the training school is the environment. We had a slide, we wanted to just show a slide, but maybe tomorrow we will do that. The beautiful thing about it is the environment. It's a school, it's a structure whereby you have close to 7 classes, and all classes are equipped in suits, and everything that you need is within the classes. So we're looking at not just the now, we're looking at future. We recently about partnering with a school here and a higher institution here in Lagos State as well. And because the future is very, very important, like my colleague said, Sheon said, he has been a colleague of mine for long, there's going to be a brain drain in the industry starting from 2020. And it lies on you, the next generation, to fill that gap. And for you to fill that gap appropriately, you must have that quality training, irrespective of your location or where you are. So I really want to wish everyone the best. And check us out on Instagram, check us out on the website, and welcome to Harris, and keep enjoying this program. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much once again for that brief but elaborate discussion about what you offer and what you think and how it's different. And of course, we do know that, I'm sure, how many of us know that we're going to build an airport on that side of town? There are plans to build an airport on that side of town. So that will open up doors. So you know that we really need to get ready. Next generation. Some of us are on the verge of retiring and you need to take over. So the sooner you begin to put your thoughts together, the better. Last person I'd like to call on is Mr. Chinedu Naife. He's from the Pathfinders. Let's put our hands together to come forward.
Good afternoon, all. Like she said, my name is Chinedu Naife. I work with Pathfinders International Limited. We are aviation security service providers in Nigeria, licensed by the NCAA. I would like to introduce your beautiful minds to the world of security, world of aviation security. To begin with, I'll still refer back to the pilots who will always ask the engineer if the aircraft is good to go. There's also another part of the operations that gets them concerned. If for any reason the pilot has the slightest of doubts about security of that aircraft, you can ask him, they are here. That aircraft ain't going nowhere. If he has boarded 200 passengers on board that aircraft and one person steps in, goes into that aircraft, and for any reason he begins to have doubts because of that one person, ask him what will happen. The entire 200 people will come off the aircraft. That's the importance of security. Okay, I I wouldn't want to bore you with the industry jargon of how we define security, especially because of our young minds here. But I will just, in layman's language, I will say what we do in security is to protect lives. Protect the aircraft, protect airport facilities, protect the crew. Back to my captain again and other pilot and other crew members. Protect members of the public. So you don't have to fly for me to protect you. We protect bags, both cabin bags, what we call cabin bags and hold bags. We go as far as cargo, mail, and other supplies like catering supplies. That is what security agents do in the aviation industry. And why do we have to protect these items or this industry as a whole? Because I will go back to saying your beautiful mind and your innocent mind, but we have to expose you to the dangers that are inherent in the industry. Whether we like it or not, we don't want to hear it, but the aviation industry is exposed to a lot of threats day in, day out. And unfortunately, these threats even evolve. The level of threat we have today, I can assure you, is not the level of threat we will have tomorrow. It gets worse. And we need people who will always be there to counter these threats. Fortunately, the countering is preemptive. It means we have to prevent, not allow it to happen, then act. We have to prevent things from happening. When we discuss security, people really laugh because it brings fear, kind of. That's why I get worried when I want to discuss security with very young people. But we have to discuss it. So, the security career is quite an easy one. Easy in the sense that what you require to be a security person is not far-fetched. In most cases, we have degree requirements. But like I said earlier, I work with Pathfinders International Limited. The minimum requirement to be a security personnel for Pathfinders now is an ordinary national diploma, OND, what we call OND. With an OND certificate, you can work as a security personnel with Pathfinder. The thing with security is this: security is training based. It's training based. You may come in with a degree only in any field. You may come in with the OND in any field, but from the day you step into that industry, you will now understand that it goes beyond degree, it goes beyond certification from the onset. The day you step in is the day you begin to get the real education in security. One of the most basic of them all, which is usually called the STP 123. I don't want to bother you with so many of those languages. I don't want to bother you with too many of those languages, but like I said earlier, from the day you step in, you begin to train and get trained over and over again. Some of these trainings you get to do every single year. Some of them, a few you have to do maybe biannually. By that I mean once in 2 years. There are trainings you may even have to repeat every 6 months. That's twice a year. So it's very, very important that as we make decisions into careers in aviation, we look at the requirements like I just told you. How many of you have been to the airport before? Children. Okay. When you come into the airport, have you come across some gentlemen and ladies who are in uniform? Some of them are at the entrance of the airport. Some of them move around. Some of them ask you questions. Those are security people. But I must tell you, that is just maybe a quarter of the security agents in the entire airport environment. We have those ones who are there, who are visible to the public. Then we have more who are behind the scene, who will do, I wouldn't say the more important job, because all security jobs are important. But these guys there are guys behind the scene who do also very important jobs. Since you have been to the airport, you understand that you have, most passengers have bags. Am I right? Okay. Before those bags get on board the aircraft or loaded into the aircraft, those bags must be what? Clap for yourself. Clap for yourselves. These are security people in the making already. They are now telling us that bags have to be searched. Fantastic. The search you see is done by hand, right? Okay. There are also other specialized screening procedures. We have equipment, we have machineries, we have machines that we use in screening those bags. We have machines that we use in screening even people. We have the things we call the handheld metal detectors and other things like that. These are the things we use in screening passengers and screening bags to ensure the safety of everyone around the aircraft. So, like I said earlier, it's basically about saving lives, aviation security. It is a very, very serious part of the aviation sector. It's about the most serious because for those of us who were here during the first session where we had our fathers in the industry, if you remember Mr. Uwechwe, who sat, I think he was the last person on the left rather. He made a statement. He said, when he was talking, he chipped in something. He said, security sounds expensive until you have a breach. Who said that? Clap for yourself. Clap for yourself. So he said, security sounds expensive until you have a breach. And he now said, may we not have a breach. That's how serious security is. It looks like it's not as important as we are taking it until something goes wrong. And you know, in this sector, when something goes wrong, lives are lost. And that is why we are here. We cannot afford to let lives be lost. Alaji Mokhtar Wakil, right? He also said something when he was talking about the importance of training. He was talking about the importance of training in NCAA. He also chipped in something. He said, training is important for safety and security before economic viability. The adults will understand that statement better. Economic viability is if something is economically viable. But what is more important than that is safety and security. So whether they are able to do it or whether they think they are able to afford it, they must do it to protect lives and property. So my dear young ones, this is what security is all about. Showing interest, being serious about it, because of its importance, it requires a lot of genuine interest. So for you to be a security personnel in the aviation sector, you must be interested. Some of us walked into aviation security by chance. But I must tell you, once you step into that world, you begin to appreciate what you do. You begin to understand the beauty of doing certain kind of jobs. The moderator talked about what keeps you going on your own field. I must tell you, if you wake up and you come to work, you come to the airport environment on a daily basis, and as you step in, you do your work as a security person. The moment a flight departs, you see that flight depart and you understand that it lands in the destination safely. The joy that comes with it, the satisfaction that comes with it is what keeps me personally going. That's what drives me, and that's what drives most of us in the industry. It's a place where you come and you practically see what you do. You practically see the effect of your work. So it's not theoretical. It's something you do right now and you see the result. If you are employed into the security sector, a lot of, apart from the academic qualification, the BSc, the OMD and everything, a lot of background checks goes into your documentation. whether you like it or not, you have resumed work, or before you resume work, people do a lot of background check. They check your history without your knowledge. People go and ask questions. They go as far back as the school you claim to have attended, the areas you said you have lived, where you say you live presently, the address you have dropped. People go there to find out if you actually live there, if you have actually lived here, if you actually attended school here, if you finished school on this particular year that you have said you finished school.
We'll be talking about what you need, not just the skills, the kind of attitude you need to have to be in this industry. We talked about trust, we talked about being timely, we talked about being disciplined. And I'm happy to announce that the first school that showed up here have actually gotten a gift of 50K. The first school to arrive, you've won 50,000 naira. One of the panelists of the previous group is giving your school 50,000 naira. So, and in this industry, being on time is very, very key. Flights must depart on time. Okay, I think the last two questions, and I think I have an answer here for one of them. What about scholarships for aviation and flight schools? Well, talking about scholarships, we have 2 scholarships for cabin crew already given. There's somebody, he doesn't want his name mentioned, but he's offering to sponsor 2 people for cabin crew training. And because it's for cabin crew, the modalities will be sorted out tomorrow. So if you're planning to be a crew member and you want the scholarship, make sure you're here early tomorrow and see what happens. And then we also have a 50% scholarship for cabin crew by the Federation School. So they're going to pay 50%. That's half of your tuition if you want to go to flying school. Again, it's for cabin crew. So tomorrow we'll sort that out. Of course, I believe that some others will come in and somehow, if you keep in touch with Mama Jane, maybe you'll be able to get it. So there's still hope. This to make the industry even much better than it already is. And at this juncture, I'd just like to thank everyone that has been here today. I want to thank all our panelists for spending these few hours with us to impact the next generation. It's always a good thing. I was with Comfort a few weeks ago, and they came to our office because it was the day of the girl child, and it's highly inspiring. And all we can do once we have found our feet in this industry is to try as much as possible to give back. And that's why I always am behind. I give Mama Jane the push so that I don't have to be at the forefront of things. We just need to join hands and help each other. So I want to thank our panelists for being here today, for sharing their knowledge with us. I want to thank all the students, whether secondary school, and all our guests that have been here. Thank you for spending these few hours with us. We really appreciate it. And I pray that you all get to your individual homes safe and sound. Look forward to seeing you again. If you're coming for the cabin crew fair tomorrow, please remember, let's be here for like 8 o'clock in the morning. God bless you all. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you very much.